So you're thinking of becoming an entrepreneur and you would like to prepare for this. When it comes to preparing yourself to become self-employed or an entrepreneur, there are many things to consider, but there are actually three basic things that you should embrace, plus one, in preparing to become an entrepreneur. To be honest, this video is not just to those who are aspiring to become an entrepreneur, but even to those who are already an entrepreneur that have forgotten their reasons and even their whys, why they become an entrepreneur. They have forgotten some habits, and there are certain times that they feel like there are a lot of conflicts inside them. Hi, this is Tere, and welcome to Terepreneur, where you learn how to become successful as an entrepreneur, self-employed, and even as an intrapreneur. So let's start with the first one. The first and foremost thing that you need to learn yourself right now, if you do not have this habit yet, it is very important to cultivate this habit on you to become an entrepreneur. Number one is to learn how to motivate yourself. Self-motivation is very essential in running a business. I don't care what kind of business you're running or will be running. It could be something that is phenomenal. It can save the entire world. It doesn't just solve a solution in your small community, but a great population of society. It doesn't matter. You need to motivate yourself. It could be those services that is like, oh my God, it is an answer to the world and people needs it. And you know that in your heart that people need it, not just your friends, your cousins, your relatives, but even the entire universe will need it. I tell you, this, whatever that is, there will still be rejection. There are people who will question your motive. And the truth of the matter is that sometimes your closest friends or relative themselves will doubt your motive behind this. Running a business entails a lot of rejection. So you need to learn how to motivate yourself. First thing in the morning, when you wake up, you need to get yourself motivated. Now, what are the ways to motivate yourself? Number one, meditation. Meditation is one great thing to motivate yourself. This is a time where you quiet down, you look deep, and you meditate on good things. Some people meditate on the goods in their life, in the good thing in their business. Some people meditate even on the Word of God. I myself, as a Christian, when I started becoming an entrepreneur, in fact, I set it on myself not to leave the house without getting motivated myself by the Word of God. So I have to really carve out earlier time to read the Word of God and do my meditation. Number two, of course, your physical activity. You need to exercise. You need to get moving because movement creates positivity. It creates energy. It creates action. So you can see me right now, I kept on moving. Why? I need to be motivated while sharing this, and I need to create energy and I need to create positivity so that I can deliver this to you. Now, all the more when you are going through new things as an entrepreneur, and when you know that your quote, your proposal might not get accepted, may or may not get be heard, you need that energy. So first thing in the morning, you can go for a walk, go in the nature, go for a run. If you live nearby the park, I would highly suggest go outdoor. Do your jogging, you do your exercise. If you have a routine in the gym, go ahead and go to the gym and exercise, because movement motivates you, gives you that energy, and gives you the stamina and the capacity to do great things first thing in the morning. And thirdly, of course, you need to journal. Journaling is very important. That's one of the ways that I motivate myself, because whenever I get discouraged, whenever there are things that doesn't sit well in me, or whenever there are things that really I am emotional about, especially for women, because women could tend to be emotional, but this is not just exclusive to women. Some men could be emotional as well. Now, it's great to actually hear yourself. and to write it down and journal that. One of the things that you can also journal productively is to journal your gratitude. Gratitude journal is one of the things to motivate yourself. You can do that first thing in the morning, and you can also do that before you sleep at night. Why? Because negativity can creep in. You will question yourself. Why am I doing this? Is this even right that I'm doing this? You need to be self-motivated in doing the positive things that you know that is right to do. So in becoming an entrepreneur, you need to cultivate a habit of self-motivation. That is very important. And most people who are self-motivated tend to succeed as an entrepreneur. You look around, you ask most entrepreneurs that you will see, you will find that they are very self-motivated. They know how to motivate themselves. You might find sometimes entrepreneurs that are so positive. Why? Because they tend to spend a lot of time motivating themselves. They tend to be positive. They tend to see positivities in a lot of things. They tend to see opportunity. That's what happened when you are self-motivated, actually. Now, you may argue with me, Tere, I have met people, successful people that tend to become very negative and very sarcastic, and they tend to be very, very much stressed. And it is such a stressful time to be with them. Now, these are an example of an entrepreneur that have forgotten to self-motivate themselves. It is very important. If you're already that kind of seasoned entrepreneur that have been negative, you wake up in the morning and you tend to complain in your head. You wake up in the morning and you tend to worry a lot. Well, worry is part of the business. There are times that you will worry, but you still need to motivate yourself. Don't forget the routine of an entrepreneur, the routine of a winner, which is self-motivation. You need to motivate yourself, be it on the word of God, be it you get motivated in your sports, in your daily activity, be it you get motivated by your family and friends, by yourself, by doing your own gratitude journal, by journaling and meditating. So that is very, very important. Don't you ever forget that. If you do not have that habit yet, I encourage you, if you're preparing to become an entrepreneur, start doing that and start learning that. Number 2, learn how to sell. Now, I know. Some of you will say, I just want to be a good business person. I just want to be a great practitioner running my own practice as a dentist, as a lawyer, as a doctor, as a financial consultant, or even I just want to be a businessman building a factory, a product, a service, a solution. I don't care. You got to sell as an entrepreneur. You need to learn how to sell. Now, how to sell has gotten a bad rap because there's a lot of people who put a wrong connotation on people who knows how to sell. They say he's a salesman, he's a con man, he's a person who does say things that are not true. That is not fair. Because if you know and you believe in the product that you carry, the services that you carry, and you know that it will help other people, what you're gonna do? You're gonna talk about it. You're gonna tell people about it. Otherwise, people won't know. People won't know that you can solve their problems. People won't know that you can actually give a solution. Come on. But that takes sales. That takes understanding how to communicate your idea, how to communicate about your product, how to communicate the problem. How do you actually state the actual problem that people are going through and how you are giving the solutions to it. So learning how to sell, it's something that you need to embrace to become an entrepreneur. Whatever that is, just like what I said earlier, whatever that is that you'd like to do as a business person or as a self-employed professional, it doesn't matter. You need to learn how to sell. You need to learn how to speak the good and the benefits of your product and how people can benefit about it. Now, if you look at it, a lot of successful people are great salespeople. A lot of successful entrepreneurs. Look at Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs talks about dream. It talks about imagination. Look at Walt Disney. Walt Disney is a great salesman. And look at Donald Trump, who has created a Donald Trump empire. This is even before becoming the president of United States, which is the most powerful country in the world. To even become the president of the most powerful country in the world, it takes great salesmanship. And Donald Trump knows how to do that. Now, same thing with Obama, with all these politicians that have gotten through an office. It takes that salesmanship, because if you believe what you represent and your political ideology, that takes sales. Now, what about your product? What about the business? What about the solutions that you'd like to bring? You got to learn how to sell. You got to learn how to sell. If you don't know how to do that, you can start trying it out. You can start cultivating salesmanship. You can start cultivating talking about your ideas. You can start talking to people. You can start, well, it's one thing to read about it, it's another thing to actually practice it. A lot of people will tell me, yeah, I read about sales and I think I've learned how to do sales by reading it. No, you got to practice it. You got to practice it. You got to be able to convince people about your product and your solution. Now, again, because there's a lot of rejection in this kind of business, in business world, you need to self-motivate, right? And when you know, and you know, you believe in the product that you do, it's so easy to actually sell, because selling is so natural. You know, this is why a lot of people are getting a bad rep on sales, but that's actually not true. You know, selling is natural. And if you do not know that yet and you want to learn the rope, you can learn this by even shadowing somebody, you know, even by learning from somebody, or even by just trying it out. You know, try to sell a carousel, try to sell the things that you have, try to talk, you know. Well, of course, selling now on social media would be easier, because you have done this, you have positioned your camera in a certain angle, in a certain way, and you sell it to the public. But do try to sell by communicating it, and do embrace that reality that sales is a big thing when it comes to running a business. Number 3, get mentored. Learn from others. If you have entrepreneurs around you, shadow that person. Shadow that person that has this innovative idea. Shadow that person that has this kind of hunger, that kind of gusto and tenacity in the business. You know, when I was learning my rope to become a business person, I hardly have any people around me who's running a business. Majority of people around me, you know, my colleagues are lecturers, my church mates are mostly employees, and there's hardly any people around me that I can learn from. And I found somebody that is already running a business, is already seasoned as a business person, and I volunteered. You know, I think I did the right thing. It is based on also what I have read from the book. I volunteered and I said, can I be your apprentice? Can I shadow you in how to do your business? Can I learn from you for free? You know, I volunteered myself to do that, which she gladly take. But at that season in her life, she has already, you know, done with doing this kind of business. And she's already coming into that retirement focus. So when something happened along the way in her business, she decided, you know what, I don't care anymore. I am just going to close down that company. So I decided she may not be the right person for me right now, because I am so hungry to learn and I would like to shadow an entrepreneur. So if you don't have any other people around you, read books. I have read tons of entrepreneurs books, you know, to learn from their mistakes, to learn from their strength, to learn from their habits. There's so many things that you can learn. And right now there's a lot of things available on YouTube, you know, that you can read about the biography of the people, successful people. You can learn a thing or two on that. Do not underestimate the power of the technology just right in front of you. And keep on tuning in to Terrepreneur, because I will be interviewing a lot of successful entrepreneurs in the coming videos. So you can check those videos out, and you can learn. You can learn many things from successful people. An amazing thing about successful people is this: successful people are very generous. If you ask them about learning. If you actually ask them to learn from them, they will be able to give it to you. So that is amazing. Be teachable, get mentored. That's number 3. Get mentored by somebody. If you cannot find anyone to mentor you, go and read books that where you could be mentored, and go and follow successful entrepreneurs, even online, even on YouTube, even on this platform. Okay. And last but not the least, I told you these are the 3 basic things, right? You gotta learn how to self-motivate. Number 1. Number 2, you gotta learn how to sell. And number 3, you gotta learn how to be mentored, to be teachable. And last but not the least, this is a bonus portion, which is a very, very obvious that you need to do to prepare to become an entrepreneur. Number 4 is learn how to manage your money, because money management is very important in running a business. When you are no longer drawing a salary month after month, the challenge is money management. So right now, while you are still preparing to become an entrepreneur, start managing your money. Now, the COVID situation has probably taught you and me, okay, if you don't get that lesson, you better get that lesson. Taught you and me that only the essentials can stay when it comes to the pandemic, when it comes to the economic downturn, such as this COVID pandemic. So learn how to live within the essentials and throw away the non-essentials, because when you are preparing to become an entrepreneur, you need a good capital, at least a financial capital on yourself. If you are going to be a self-employed, like a financial consultant, those kind of business that do not need so much of a huge capital to put down onto, but you need an emergency fund for that, because your expenses will definitely increase as you meet more people, as you meet clients. So learn how to manage your money and learn how to identify essentials from non-essentials. Now, for those who are going to run a business with huge capital, all the more you should do that. And you should learn now how to separate, because eventually you will do this. You learn how to separate your personal expenses with your business expenses. So start saving, start learning how to manage your money, start cutting out the fats from your expenses, and take out all those memberships that you don't use, cut down on apps that you don't even use, that you have downloaded, and month after month, you pay for it. Cut down on all this online subscription you have, and cut down on even those things that you enjoy, but you can survive without it. Financial management is very important in running a business, because when you start scaling, when you start hiring, when you start investing, you need a proper financial management to be able to do this. So those who are preparing to become an entrepreneur, what are the things that you have prepared yourself into, and what are the things that you know that you need to prepare? Put down on the comment below. And to those that are already an entrepreneur and have forgotten some of the habits here, like self-motivation, like getting mentored, it's time now to go back into that and get back into the basics. These are the foundation of running a business. These are the foundation of becoming an entrepreneur. Now, if you like this video, don't forget to hit like and do subscribe if you have not subscribed yet, and click on the notification. If this helped you, if this have motivated you, if this actually added value to you, please don't forget to subscribe and hit on the notification button. So this has been Tourette. Thank you for tuning in to Tourepreneur, and I'll see you again. Bye.